Welcome back, sports gamers. It's The Natural, and I have an EA Sports NCAA Football update for you today. Athletes are finally starting to receive their checks as part of the settlement from EA Sports versus Ed O'Bannon lawsuit. Does this put us one step closer to NCAA's return?
Online is the #1 source for the sports gamer.
Even though athletes have been compensated by EA, the case continues versus the NCAA. On Friday, former Alabama quarterback Greg McElroy took to Twitter to publish a 5-part message about his opinion on the status of the game. The bottom line, for McElroy, he'd rather be able to play the game than be paid. To McElroy, maybe it is, but as quite a few people have pointed out, McElroy was fortunate enough to be able to make it to the NFL, even if only briefly, and to continue his career as a sports analyst. Now, not everyone is going to have that same opportunity, and that's why there's plenty of support for the court's decision in the Ed O'Bannon case. It wasn't about removing NCAA football from the market. It was about making sure that the athletes who made an appearance in the game were fairly compensated. But just because athletes are finally starting to receive their checks doesn't mean the fight is over. The return of NCAA football may depend on a decision from the Supreme Court. While the district court ruled in favor of the plaintiffs, finding that the NCAA had violated antitrust laws, the plaintiffs will also be eligible to receive $5,000 a year compensated for use of their likeness. Unfortunately, the Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit's ruling reversed the decision to have money set aside for the athletes, only agreeing that NCAA had violated antitrust laws. That left athletes hoping for compensation beyond the cost of their tuition out of luck. After the Ninth Circuit's decision, the plaintiffs petitioned for the case to be heard by the Supreme Court last month. Regardless of whether or not the Supreme Court chooses to hear the case, a decision will be made. If the Supreme Court hears the case, that would mean the Ninth Circuit decision will be reversed, allowing athletes to receive compensation. This is major. The Supreme Court could also agree with the Ninth Circuit's decision, in which case their ruling would stand and athletes would not be granted the compensation afforded to them by the initial ruling. The results will be the same if they don't hear it, meaning athletes will continue on without compensation, likely ruling out any NCAA games in the near future. If the athletes aren't compensated, it's unlikely that college sports will make a return, at least in their previous form. It'll be a while before we find out, but we're rooting for the Supreme Court to hear the case and allow athletes to receive compensation, as that would be another step towards bringing NCAA football franchise back into our homes. Do you agree with Greg McElroy? Does the case have a chance at the Supreme Court? Let us know in the comments below on social media. As always, we'll continue to keep you updated on the latest NCAA developments here at SGO. This is The Natural. I'm out.
Bill Belichick, Sean Payton, some of the game's greatest are still not in there. Why is that?
Bill Belichick and Sean Payton are not in NFL Coaches Association. Just like in Madden 2001, which was the first game to feature real coaches with the exception of Belichick and Parcells, because neither of them were part of NFL Coaches Association. Due to this, Madden has no rights to their likeness, even though their playbooks are accurately depicted in the game. You will most likely see Sean Payton in a future game, but I doubt we will ever see the great hooded one in Madden.
Why doesn't Madden have real and true physics in the game?